You are welcome to the Messiah channel, Prophetic End Time channel. Today we are looking at updates, geopolitics in the world, updates on the sounding or the final trumpet, and we are looking at the world in light of Bible prophecy and the things that are going on. The Gaza war is still going on unabated, and the killings and violence are continuing, and the days of the coming of the Messiah will be like the days of Noah. And the days of Noah were days of violence and lawlessness. You see lawlessness in the world and the Middle East in particular, and the Gaza war between Israel and Palestine, the Palestinians. And that is a case for discussion, and it fits into Bible prophecy. There will be wars and rumors of wars, and there is actual war going on between Israel and Gaza. And of course, Israel and the Palestinian, they all have their supporters. And so you can say the war is a proxy war between the West and the East, between the North and the South, and between Jews and Muslims. So it has so many components to it, and it fits into Bible prophecy. There will be wars and rumors of war. Nation will rise against nation, and kingdom will rise against kingdom. And here we're looking at the situation between Iran and Israel. It has a geopolitical element to it. It also has a religious element to it, and it also fits into Bible prophecy. Israel is interested in regime change in Iran, and Iran is also interested in the extension, if you will, of the Jewish state. And so that is also fits into Bible prophecy outlined in Matthew 24. The nations will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And here we see the age-old Persian Empire, Iran, at war with Israel of 1948. They are purporting to be Israel of the Old Testament. And so you will see that that fits into Bible prophecy. Nation will rise against nation, and kingdom will rise against kingdom. Iran is a very proud nation, and Iran is mentioned in the Bible, is an Ezekiel power mentioned in Ezekiel 38, and has a role to play in the end times. And you can also say that Iran also has a role to play. And if you look at the prophecy in Jeremiah 50, Jeremiah 51, the Medes, they have an iron to grind with Babylon, and Babylon, United States. Geopolitically, we also see the war continuing. That is the proxy war between Russia and Ukraine, and that started in February of 2022. If you have watched our channel, we did a video on unquenchable fire the same day that Russian troops entered into Ukraine. I saw a vision of a fire, a mushroom cloud, and it was unquenchable. And I believe that the Ukrainian war will continue for a while, and it is a potential event that could trigger the tribulation, can trigger the rapture, because it's a war that has all the ingredients of a global war, World War III. At the time of making this video, you are aware that U.S. Deployed nukes in Britain. And why would the U.S. do that at this time? At a time when there's a new government in America purporting to bring peace in the world, and people are even nominating the American president for a Nobel Peace Prize. But the U.S. Has deployed nukes in Britain. And so it is a sign that all is not well. And you also see Russia deploying missiles against Berlin, against London, and against Paris. The original missiles touted to have the capability of destroying those cities, and is able to reach Berlin in 6 minutes' time, in London in 8 minutes' time, in Paris in 9 minutes' time. And theoretically and technically, those missiles or Russian missiles are not, they cannot be defeated, almost invisible. And so we see that both sides are preparing. They are preparing for war, and it is not a conventional war. It is a nuclear war. Both sides have the weapons, and you also know that Russia has the System 2 missile RS-28 Samat, capable of destroying a territory as large as France, a territory as large as Britain, a territory as large as the state of Texas. And potentially, the Samat could be used for EMP strike on a target nation. And when we talk about target nation, the US is a potential target, an actual target for Russia. And when there's a war between Russia and United States, definitely we are talking about a nuclear war. The last time that there was a potential actual nuclear war between the US and Russia was 1962. And at that time, China did not have nuclear weapons. And this time, China has. Of course, China wanted Russia, or formerly the Soviet Union, to use nuclear weapons against the United States. What will China do now? And now we see an alignment between China and Russia. Formerly, they were enemies. China accused Russia of being a social imperialist nation, and Russia also, or the Soviet Union also, had her own charges against China. But now they are members of an alliance, BRIC alliance, anti-Western, anti-imperialist, anti-American alliance, and that is changing the global political structures, and it's defeating the unipolar system that poses a threat to the United States, and the US is also responding from all angles in a way that could lead to actual conflict between Russia and the United States. We also notice skirmishes between China and Taiwan, and China has an interest in Taiwan and has threatened to take Taiwan by force, using all means necessary. And of course, that will trigger US engagement with China in Taiwan. China also has an iron to grind with United States. China has a case with United States. It is part of Chinese ideology that China will wage war, actual war with United States, and overtake United States. They believe that within 100 years' time, from the time of the Chinese Revolution in 1949, there will be an actual war between China and United States, and China believes that they will win the war and they will defeat the United States and they will take over. Economically, China has overtaken the US in some sectors of the economy. In military terms, China also is developing a lot of advanced technologies that constitutes a threat to the United States. And even Americans themselves, conservative think tanks in America, they believe that the US will not be able to stage a sustained war with China. And come to think about an alliance between China and Russia, would the US be able to stage war with a combined force of China and Russia at the time that Russia and China, they are in a strategic alliance? They are not alone. Of course, they are close. They are closely aligned with North Korea, a nuclear state, and they are closely aligned with Iran, which can be described as a nuclear state. And so that is the state of the economy, the state of the military at the point that we can be a finger close to World War III. And that war could be triggered by accident as nations deploy their weapons, and America deploying nukes in Britain, and Russia deploying nukes in Belarus and pointing Oreshnik missiles towards Europe and advancing on Kiev, actually putting NATO on the defensive. All those things are events that we need to watch. They are capable of triggering a global event, and that could bring in World War III. We also see a lot of things happening economically with the powers of the world. It's part of prophecy. Nations will be shaken. And if you look at the Gentile European powers, Portugal, Spain, France in particular, they are going through economic crisis. They recently went through outbreak of fire, and France has lost her colonial possessions, neo-colonial possessions in Africa. If you take the case of Niger, and that loss potentially can lead to what can be described as terrorization of France. France could be a third world nation. If you take the colonial possessions away from France, the African nations they are cutting the cord of dependence on France, and that is creating economic problems within France. And you can say that is also biblical because it is part of the judgment on the Gentiles. The Gentile nations that scattered the children of God, they scattered them through the conference that they did, Psalm 83 conspiracy against the children of God. I'm talking about the Berlin Conference. Unfortunately, Berlin was the center um, of balkanization of Africa, and Berlin itself became balkanized after World War II. After World War II, Berlin was denazified. Berlin was divided, and at the time that Berlin is together, Germany and the European nations, they've seen war coming closer to them, a potential war between Russia and Germany, potential war between Russia and NATO. These are all part of the geopolitical events going on in the world, and we need to pay attention to those things. If you take America, you can say that so many things are happening in America, and they are part of the judgment on America. I believe America is the Babylon spoken of in the Bible. And recently, and when you look at natural disasters, when you look at internal crisis, when you look at the shaking going on in America, you will agree that judgment on America has begun, and it will continue, because America is destined to fall, and is destined to be desolated, consistent with Bible prophecy in the book of Revelation, chapter 18. And lastly, we also have to consider environmental issues, uh, changes in the weather. They are all part of Bible prophecy. The seasons will change, and all those things, they are all part of conspiracy to destroy the world, as the elite of this world are planning to revive the old Roman Empire. They are trying uh, to prepare the grounds for the beast system, for the Antichrist system. And as part of the Antichrist system, they'll be interested in depopulating the world. It's part of the manifesto of the elites, the globalist elites, to reduce the population of the world. And the best way to do that would be a global war, particularly a nuclear war. They intend to depopulate the world to a level that they can control 500 million people. And we are talking about a global population of over 8 billion people. How can they reduce it to 500 million people? It will be through war, and nuclear war is part on the agenda. It's not off the table. Nations will rise against nation, kingdom will rise against kingdom, and the merchants of war, they are there. They control the elites, they control the nations, they control America, they control the states that are fighting, and it will be a profit. It will be for profit when they stage war, including nuclear war. It will be an opportunity for them to test their weapons, and they will profit from war. And so wars and rumors of war will continue, and we are at the time when the prophecies in the Bible are being fulfilled, and that is ground for us to prepare, because the final trumpet of heaven has sounded. This is Messiah Revelation Ministry, preparing the world for the coming of the Lord. Remember that geopolitical events going on in the world, they are all part of Bible prophecy, as they are converging. They are converging, and the signs are converging, and they portend gloomy results. They portend a gloomy end, days that are perilous, as predicted in the book of Timothy. Messiah Revelation Ministry. My email is raptureafrica@yahoo.com. I'm leaving it in the description box. Thank you very much.